Welcome back to Panda's Bonsai. Today what I'm doing on my channel is I'm going to show you the time-lapse of myself drawing the banner for my joint channel with Kyle called Kyle and Amanda Games. I plan on doing a mix of talking about my process and talking about Kyle and I, talking about games we enjoy, as well as just maybe sharing a bit more about myself if I end up around that avenue. I did not record the sketch for this process because I was trying something new. I'm still very new to this YouTube stuff, obviously. And so I didn't know if I wanted to record the sketch, the line work, the coloring. I really didn't know. And I wasn't exactly sure where I wanted to take all of this banner drawing. And so I thought, let me just get the sketch out of the way. I feel like if I record that part of the process, this could be like a multiple hour long video. So that's why I started from there. The thing that I definitely knew that I wanted to include, which will come into play later, is in the center of the screen is our channel name. And on either side of it, we are using mouse and keyboard to play games. And what I wanted to achieve later on, is to sort of have light on our faces as if being illuminated by a computer screen. We play computer or PC games more often than we play anything else, though we do dabble in things like card games, Nintendo Switch games. Kyle has PlayStation 5, I think, if that's the newest, on which he has played Spider-Man a little bit. And so we do more than just PC games, but that is definitely what we play the most. And so I wanted to sort of reflect that, and I thought that a cute way to do it would be to have the screen light up our faces. I was feeling a little bit insecure about this video and my line work and what the process was like, because it feels really raw to show my line work process to the internet, to whoever's watching. I really struggled with a lot of this, to be honest. I think that it was majorly in part to the fact that I didn't really have a completed sketch before I started the line work. As you can see, the hands are not sketched out at all. And so then when I was doing the line work and I had to line a hand, there was no hand to line. So I was kind of winging it a little bit. The hands took me a super duper long time. I had to leave and come back to them probably 5 different times. In the end, though, I'm very happy with how they turned out. They're not 100% anatomically accurate, but that's not what I'm going for anyway, so who cares? I think that they're cute. I think that the drawing as a whole is pretty cute. I'm very happy with it. The bane of my existence during this line work was those little black dots that you see, because as I would try and zoom in and out of the drawing, I would accidentally tap it instead of zooming. And so I have these random dots throughout the entire process. They're on the sketch layer, they're on the line layer, they're on the color layer. In the end, I think I got rid of them all. But as I was coloring it, I was going through the whole drawing and just seeing dot after dot after dot. Another mistake I made was I really wasn't happy with the way that my chin and sort of cheek were looking here, my neck especially, and so I turned on symmetry to trace Kyle's neck onto mine to sort of have his as a better reference, and I forgot to turn off the symmetry. So as you can see here, I'm desperately trying to erase all of the lines that I just accidentally drew because I left the symmetry on, and so as I was doing the line work on myself, it was being reflected onto Kyle. And I was, of course, doing them on the same layer, like an idiot. So I sort of wrestled with myself. Do I go through Kyle and erase all of the line work that is mine? Or do I just start my line work over from scratch? And as you can see, I chose the from scratch option because I tried to go through Kyle's sketch and erase my line work. But the unfortunate part was a lot of them were overlapping, so it was kind of hard to tell where one ended and the other began. So I thought, you know what, I'm really happy with the way that Kyle's sketch turned out. I don't want to change it or alter it, so let me just start mine over. And then at this point, I was extremely happy with the way that the line work was working out, and so it was inevitably back to the hands. I had delayed them for as long as I possibly could. They were the last part of our bodies that was left to be lined, and so I just had to do it, and boy oh boy was it difficult. I did not use a reference, which is where I went wrong 100%. If I had used a reference, it probably would have been a million times easier, but I didn't want to. I wanted it to be a bit cartoonish, a bit loose, not completely accurate. I wanted it to be my style. And so I struggled through, and struggle I did. But like I said, in the end, I think I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I used, I think, a good amount of reflecting from one side to the other versus making the hands a bit unique to each of us. The next thing that I definitely knew I wanted to include in this banner was when people click on the channel, I want them to know a little bit about us right off the bat. I want them to know what kind of games we play, what we're interested in. And so I wanted to include in the background these little images of some things that are dear to us for different reasons. The first three of which that are on Kyle's side are a Pokeball, Hollow Knight, and the Overwatch logo. Kyle loves Pokemon. He's loved it, I think, his whole life. His favorite generation is Gen 4. His favorite Pokemon is Infernape. And I gotta say, as someone dating someone else who likes Pokemon and likes one Pokemon in particular, he did a good job picking a niche one that is not one of the most popular ones and therefore does not have some of the most merch compared to like Pikachu or Squirtle. They have so much to choose from. And so finding Infernape stuff as gifts for holidays is difficult, and I think I've resorted to trying to find what I can on Etsy that's been handmade and beautifully done, and I found some really good ones. I found him an Infernape themed Pokeball that I just got him for our most recent event together, and it's so cool. I think it looks super amazing, and I'm really happy with the quality of it. The next image on his side is Hollow Knight, the Hollow Knight main character's head. Hollow Knight was such a tough game. I've only actually played a little bit of it myself, and Kyle has played through the whole thing, and watching him play through it, my mind was blown. It looks so difficult. I think it's what you call like a Metroidvania, ? But it looked really difficult, but at the same time it was beautifully made, beautifully crafted. The music was wonderful, the art was wonderful. It was a really fun game for me to watch and for him to play, and I'd love for him to get the chance to talk about it more on our channel. The next logo on his side is the Overwatch logo. And Overwatch is something that we have absolutely bonded over. Kyle has played so many competitive games, and when we started dating, I didn't really play a huge variety of games. I mainly played on my Wii, my DS, my Nintendo stuff is very near and dear to my heart, which I will talk about more when we get to the ones on my side, like the heart container here that I'm sketching. But Overwatch is something Kyle introduced me to, and I love it. I have absolutely become obsessed with it over the time that we've been dating and been playing it together. The new reboot of, they just dropped the 2. It's now just back to Overwatch, and they've restarted with the season numbers. It's so much fun. I'm not the best player, but I have a damn good time, and when I am hitting my shots, it feels so good and so satisfying, and I love to play it. I would love if one day I could stream myself and or Kyle playing Overwatch on the channel. I think that would be an absolute hoot. I think it would be a really good time to play, miss all my shots and be embarrassed in front of everybody, and then play some more. I love it. I think it's super fun to play casually and a little bit competitively. Like I said, I'm not anywhere near the top players, so competitive can get hard sometimes because sometimes you just have bad games. And if you have a bad game in a competitive game, everyone will let you know. Then onto my side of the drawing, the first one there is the Wiimote in the wheel controller. I have played so much Mario Kart Wii growing up. I absolutely loved being Daisy on the Mac bike and crushing everybody, leaving them in my dust. I love that game. It's so much fun, and I've played a lot of it. I actually really only played with the Wiimote and the nunchuck. I never actually used the wheel accessory very much, but for the sake of translating that into a drawing, I thought that the wheel remote would get my point across. I think that anyone seeing that knows what it is, knows what I'm referring to being Mario Kart Wii. I don't even know if that accessory was used for any other game other than Mario Kart, but I wanted to sort of showcase it in that way here. And next beside my head is the Joker card from Balatro in a stylized form. Kyle and I love playing Balatro. It has been really, really, really addicting. Right now we're going through the challenges, and I don't even know which one we just finished, but they are really unique, the challenges. They play differently, having different restrictions in what jokers you can or cannot buy, what you start with and what you can't do, your number of discards, makes it so difficult, but it keeps the game really fresh. I think that they did a really good job having a wide amount of variety in the game, and so it does not get stale. Each run is different, obviously, and I think that it keeps interest really high. It's something that we can pick up really easily and play for a bit and then put down and come back to later. It's a blast. And last, and honestly for me most importantly, is the heart container. It is to represent the Legend of Zelda games, and I think that Legend of Zelda is so important to me. It was really eye-opening to me as a series. I haven't played all of the games, but I hope to play as many as I can one day. But when the pandemic started, and when Breath of the Wild came out, my eyes were just opened. It was, I think, probably the first open world game I ever played, and I feel like I could talk about it for hours. It is gorgeous. It is so beautiful and so vast, and I remember just being locked up in my room and feeling so trapped and sad about the state of the world and people's unfortunate health, and I just felt terrible every day. And so having something like that to get an escape with was what I needed at the time. It is so beautiful and so amazing and so vast, and the first Zelda game I had ever played. Since then, I have played Tears of the Kingdom, I have played Link's Awakening, and I'm currently going through Skyward Sword. And once I'm done with Skyward Sword, Kyle bought me Echoes of Wisdom, so I'm so excited to play that one next. I just feel very enthusiastic about Nintendo games. They were a huge part of my childhood, and as I've grown up and tried different games, they've become a huge part of my adulthood as well. They are just very near and dear to my heart. Okay, back to a bit about the drawing. With all the line work done and feeling very, very proud of it, I got to move on to color. Like I said at the beginning, I knew that I wanted us to be lit on our faces from the screen, and so these background pieces, I was like, do I color them as if they're in the room with us, or do I just color them as if they're sort of laid on top of the drawing? And I ended up doing that second option. I think it really helps them pop. I think it really helps them stand out and be super obvious if you're just glancing at this. And so I'm really happy with how they turned out. I was feeling really inspired when it came to the letters in the middle to make them look like some sort of screen, and so with the way that I did that glitchy line work sort of thing, I looked up different TV fonts or glitch fonts, and I found some that struck inspiration within me, and I tried to recreate that as best as I could. As the words go down, I noticed that they got a bit thinner. The letters in Kyle are the thickest, and then the letters in games are the thinnest. I'm not sure I care too much. Maybe I'll change it one day, but I'm really happy with the way it looks overall, so I don't really mind. Also, my name is longer than Kyle's, so it takes up more space anyway, so I don't know if I care for the letters to be the same thickness as his. I haven't made the banner for my own channel here yet, Pandas Bonsai, but that will be my next project, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how similar and different it looks compared to Kyle and Amanda Games. For the Kyle and Amanda Games banner, like I said, I tried to include things that are relevant to us, to the games we like, and potentially to the future of the channel. Versus on my channel, I hope to focus more on art, obviously, will be a big part of it, and as well I'm hoping to maybe post some puzzle games. I think that having a couple hour-long session of me just working through a puzzle game would be super fun to film and to edit and to post on this channel. And so, hopefully the banner will reflect a lot of that, and I'm really excited to see what stylistic choices I end up choosing. I haven't really brainstormed a lot about what I want it to look like, but I do know that I want to include things that matter to me and what I like. I'm a huge fan of Coraline, the color green, pandas, video games, Nintendo, Zelda, and so much more. And so I'm really looking forward to that brainstorming process. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that there were certain things with this banner that I really, really struggled with. Hands was the first, but not the most difficult. The most difficult is coming up soon, and it was to do with the skin. I knew that I wanted us to be lit up in a particular way. I know what my skin and hair and clothes look like. I know what Kyle's skin and hair and clothes look like, but translating that to this drawing was really difficult for me and something that I haven't really done before, so it was quite out of my comfort zone. I am still really relatively new to digital art as a whole, and so getting used to the tools and the colors and color theory, which is not something that I've studied nearly enough, was really hard for me. I had to redo the skin many times over. I wasn't really happy with it. Kyle wasn't really happy with it. In the end, I'm really happy with how it turned out, but it was a tough journey to get there. I think that my biggest issue at first was I made his skin tone way too warm, and so having the blue light from the screen on the skin didn't really make sense. It wasn't translating, and it just didn't look good. I tried so many things. I tried shading differently. I tried adding more contrasting highlights. I tried adding less contrasting highlights. I tried to airbrush blue over the top. But as you can see here, the skin is just like orange. And when I picked the color on the color wheel, it looked pretty accurate to what his skin looks like. But against the blue background, the oranges in it are just boom. They're just way too strong and just not good looking. It was really difficult to kind of pinpoint where exactly I went wrong, and I can't say that I'm still 100% sure, but I think that through all of my trial and error, I did have a good final product. One thing that I am particularly proud of is Kyle's hair. I think that it looks really fluffy and cute, and I did a really good job portraying that in this drawing. Having the hair sort of lay on top of the headphone bar that wraps around his head was just like perfect. It just took one quick sketch and it worked out wonderfully. And I love moments like that with art where you just try something and boom, first try, it looks wonderful. It's like, yeah, maybe I can do art. Maybe I am an artist. That felt really good and it turned out really nice and I love the way it looks. Between this video and the last video, I've tried a couple different things. With the last video, I recorded the time-lapse of my drawing, and then I put it into CapCut, and I edited the whole time-lapse. And then, after that, or sort of during that, I wrote out a script, and then after I was done editing the time-lapse, I recorded the audio. The problem then was I had, let's say, 11 minutes of video with the time-lapse, and I had no idea how long my script was going to be because it was just written words. I have a hard time translating that into knowing how long that'll actually take me to say all of it. I think it ended up being about 17 to 20 minutes of audio that I had to parse down into the 11-minute video. It was tough in its own way because I only had so much video. I had to cut down my audio to the length of the time-lapse because what else is there to add? That's all the video is me drawing. This video, I've tried something a little bit different. I recorded my whole time-lapse, I edited it, and now I'm recording my voiceover as I watch it. I think that this will help in some ways, but it's also been difficult in other ways. It helps because I'm able to keep more in time with how long the video is, but then it's hard because I don't know exactly what I want to talk about. I'm half winging it, half talking about stuff that I knew I wanted to talk about, like the color in the piece, the lighting from the letters, the logos in the background, things like that. I appreciate you bearing with me while I'm trying to sort of figure out my style, figure out what process I like better. I tried the scripting and I really liked it, and I think that it's probably more so what I will lean towards. I watch a lot of Curtis Connor. Curtis Connor is a Canadian YouTuber that does commentary style videos. He'll talk about hot topics or things that have happened on social media recently, and I really love his humor. I love his video style. I love his editing style. It makes me laugh. He has mentioned in the past that he scripts his videos, and so that's sort of what inspired me to try and do it. I think that I really like his pacing and his style of humor, and so if scripting is what helps get to that, I wanted to give it a go. But on a real note, I work a 9 to 5, which in and of itself is kind of a funny phrase because anyone that works a 9 to 5, I don't know if it's always been this way or if this is just a new development, but it's not a 9 to 5. It's an 8 to 5 because you have an hour mandatory unpaid lunch break that has to be within the middle of your workday. And to be honest, my job is pretty exhausting. It's not something that I'm particularly passionate about. It's not something that utilizes my college degree, and it's been really hard to stay motivated outside of work to do the things that I am passionate about. I am really passionate about creating art, creating anything in general, really, like these videos. It's been a blast to edit this and record this, but it has been really difficult to find time during my work week to work on this. I wake up early every day. I go to work while it's still dark out. I'm working while the sun is shining. And then I come home and all I want to do is go to sleep. But I also don't want to go to sleep because the sooner I go to sleep, the sooner my next workday starts. It's kind of a hellish cycle that has been repeating for far too long, and it feels really bad on the brain. And really desperately trying to break out of this mold and this routine of feeling like crap every day, just to come home and feel like crap some more and not have time or energy for the things that I enjoy. Working on drawing this and recording this and editing this has been an absolute blast, but as much fun as I'm having can't really always be outweighed by how tired I am. If I'm tired, I'm tired. That's all there is to it. But I really want to spend the time and the energy on myself because I deserve it. I deserve to have fun and make things and create a community and hang out with people and have fun and laugh and all the good things in life. And so I feel like I'm sort of rebelling against corporate America, if that's what you want to call it, because I just feel like it is really draining, and anyone who has worked an 8 to 5 can probably relate to that. But I don't want to lose myself along the way. What I talked about in my last video is that I want to live my life to the fullest. I want to be me. I want to be Amanda and do everything I want to do. And this is that. This is me doing that. I want to draw. I want to record. I want to post videos. And so here I am doing that. The journey might be clunky. The video editing won't be the best because it's just me at my desk messing around with CapCut, an app that I've never used before posting YouTube videos. So I'm learning, and it's a blessing and a curse to have my learning documented in these videos because it's so fun to do. I really enjoy learning. It's one of my favorite things to do, to be honest, but I'm afraid that looking back later on, all I will be able to do is cringe at myself talking. You know how you have videos on your phone of you in middle school doing something stupid with your friends and it's just like so cringe? But I'm trying to be authentic, and if I am being true to myself, what is there to be cringed out about, really? All I want to do is be proud of myself and my work, and I know if I'm doing good things and being kind to people and trying to better the world and better myself and better my life, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing to be embarrassed about with that. And so my art is my art. It is the amalgamation of my life and my experiences and new stuff I've tried. And so while it's not as good as some other people's, it's better than other people's, it's not worth comparing, really. My art is my art, and it is my own. No one can take that from me. No AI can take that from me. Screw AI. I hate AI. I hate what it does to the world and to the environment. Art is so human, and so my mistakes are part of it. Unfortunately or fortunately, I'm just happy with how far I've come. And speaking of creating and making mistakes, now at the time that I'm filming this voiceover, Kyle and I have recorded our first video, which will be published. There is a big but, though. This video that we have started recording is a game called A Park Full of Cats, which is a cute cat finding puzzle game where you look at this huge image with lots of things on it, and you sort of scroll through and find all the cats and all the other hidden items and locate them all. We recorded the whole first level. I think that the whole playthrough session was maybe an hour or so, maybe even longer. And at the end of it, we were so happy with our commentary and the jokes that we were making back and forth with each other, only to then go to our recording and realize the huge mistake that we made. And I want to leave it at that to encourage you to go check it out. It's on Kyle and Amanda Games, and we feel so silly for the mistake that we made. But on the bright side, after having made the mistake, we know to never, ever do that again, and we'll have some thoughts in place to help avoid that in the future. But even with the big mistake, we still have some content out of it, and Kyle has been working tirelessly to edit it, and it is hilarious what he has done with our video, and I'm so excited for everyone to watch it and hopefully get the same laughs and kicks out of it that we did. Other than A Park Full of Cats, the other game that we've started playing and recording through is called Henry Halfhead. It's been really cute and silly so far to play through the life of little Henry, and I'm really excited for us to have that video completely recorded and edited and published, hopefully soon enough. Overall, I'm just really happy with all of the effort that I know that I've been putting into my life and being able to actually enjoy the things that I care about. I love drawing. Drawing digitally has been really intimidating, but getting better at it has been really satisfying, and it's something that I'm very proud of, and I'm so excited to continue doing it. Making the banner for my channel is my next big project. I hope to do that quite soon. Other than that, the spring sale on Steam is going on right now, and I'm hoping, cross my fingers, that I'm gonna find at least one really cute one-session puzzle game that I could just sit down and record for this channel and post. I really enjoy solving puzzles. As I said in my previous video, Gab Smolders is a huge inspiration of mine, and I've been watching her play the Cube Escape game, and I just want to incorporate that into my own life. I think that is something that I see myself doing. I love solving games like that, and I would love to have you all along for that journey. As I'm wrapping up this banner, I'll say a couple more things about it. As far as the colors go, Kyle's favorite color is red, and my favorite color is green. It's half giving Christmas, half giving Mario and Luigi, but 100% giving us. We do love Christmas, and I do definitely love every Nintendo game out there. As I said before, Luigi is actually, unironically, my favorite Mario character. I love Luigi and Daisy. I played a lot of Daisy in every Mario game, and as I've gotten older, I've played a little bit more of Luigi's Mansion and those kinds of games. They're so silly and fun, and I kind of don't mind at all that Kyle and I are sort of giving that in our color scheme here. But thank you for watching, and thank you for listening, and I appreciate you sticking along for the ride. It is hard to listen to myself talk because I do get embarrassed about it, but I'm not gonna let that hold me back. Thank you for coming along for the ride. I'm so excited to see where this channel goes and where the Kyle and Amanda Games channel goes. It's all very exciting and new and scary, and the possibilities are endless, which is a great part and a very scary part. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and I'm so excited to post more. So please subscribe. Keep up with my channel, and I'd love to keep up with you. Comment and let me know if there are any puzzle games that you have in mind that you'd love to see me play, or any art that you think that you would find interesting to watch me draw. But that is all for this video. The banner has now been published on the Kyle and Amanda Games YouTube channel, and I'm so looking forward to making the banner for my Pandas Bonsai channel. Please keep your eyes peeled on my channel, as I will hopefully be posting that video or a puzzle game soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.